Hi again, this is Josh, and today's May 10th, 2023. Thanks for tuning in with me as I give an update on the channel. Now set at 452 subscribers, so on my way to the 1,000 sub goal. Again, I've been pretty successful with YouTube Shorts to get the channel going. It's gotten another 300 subscribers or so far making YouTube Shorts. And they're easy to do with my phone. Just do a few a day, get people interested in the channel. And I've been doing a lot with the Courier work, which is just 4 days a week in the mornings around Manhattan, doing tours as I deliver in Lower Manhattan. It's my morning job. Get up at 5 o'clock, just work out on my bicycle, go around to corporations and restaurants and businesses, and either do rent the runway or do the fresh food delivery in the mornings. It's good because it's a good break from mental work of teaching mathematics, which can be very stressful because you're serving families who have children who often are behind in their studies. So you have to figure out a way to get children who are growing up to trust the schools, to get a work pattern going, to support their work patterns at whatever level they're at. Often at tutoring houses, it's a language issue, so you have to help them with their math power, with their vocabulary, word power, so that they can read with fluency and then start to go to the core subjects and apply their knowledge of the language. The other thing that the school does, though, however, is it serves as a juku school, which is a Japanese word, which means basically getting ahead and doing next year's curriculum. For example, my mother, who was also an educator, she's a teacher, and then a college professor in Asian theater. She was a very intelligent woman. My mom, who passed away, she had a private tutor for me in mathematics because I loved it, and by the time I was in 5th grade, I was familiar with Calculus 1, like epsilon delta proofs, and I could do the rules by memorization. I didn't really understand. What I did understand was that calculus could study any curve into mathematical models, any 3D shape. So I already knew that when I was in 5th grade. So it was very exciting. And suffice it to say, I won a few awards when I was younger at math. My parents got divorced, but I was still in math competitions. It wasn't the same. My mom moved away, was a professor at Carnegie Mellon, did another master's, and my dad had custody, but it was just the teenage years are very difficult, for a lot of teenagers for different reasons. So, suffice it to say, even at Bronx Science, I didn't see any new math I hadn't seen before until senior year. So it's very, in terms of my anxiety level, or in terms of I was like, I can do this already. I'm already familiar with these courses. So that's what a Juku school does. It can really help you if you're a parent watching this channel, having your child do next year's read the books or read the textbook with a tutor. And then it's like you're going to do this next year's course. Then the learning anxiety is much lower when students who go fresh into courses, especially if they don't enjoy English classes or poetry or hard science. Hard science is difficult for them, or social studies. So having a tutor serve as a Juku school is an excellent way to have your child get to the top third of their class. The other thing is that, still done with graduate school. As you know, I have 3 college degrees. I still tutor. Due to COVID, a lot of hours were cut back, which was why I needed to do a side hustle as a courier. That's why I was dashing and doing caviar and stuff. But those deliveries went from the $10 to $15 range in the early days of DoorDash and caviar, down to $3 a delivery, which just isn't happening with random tips. So you could work the dorms, you could work the Midtown or Lower Manhattan, and make $100 to $200 a day even on a bike. I don't have a car, but that's the scoop. The pay went way down. So working with a company like Breakaway Courier, it's not a high paying job, so to speak, but it pays the bills and it keeps me going, honestly. You can see that I have started to invest. I have the ground floor app which is the only one that I'm really talking about. But I do like it's a real estate, and it's really putting real working families to work. What I do know is that the managers are licensed, but I don't know if these are scab workers or local teams, or if they're union or non-union. So they don't disclose that. But I do know that houses are getting fixed, food is being put on the table, and new families or businesses are going into these sites, buying these properties, right? And it's a good feeling that it's a win-win situation. And the portfolio has been growing steadily at 10%. But the return on investment, the actual money, the repayments are delayed. So even after a year or two, like it's still growing. Like I'm still owed over 10% collectively. But as you can see, I'm almost at 6% now. I'm at 5.8% as I say this on May 10th. The other thing is that what else have I been doing? It's been an unusual year with my SAT class. I was asked to include 10 lessons that were not scripted by me. And so I had about half of the course was my lessons, and the other half were prefabricated lessons, which I had to edit and then code in the computer. It takes a lot of time to develop a course and to do it right. And the other thing is that I was hired as the math specialist to, again, give a 25 lecture series this year. So it was a lot more lectures on the SAT at Fort Hamilton High School here in Brooklyn. It's done remotely with Zoom with the PTA, and it's observed by the math educators there, as well as the district superintendent from the Department of Education in the city of New York. So it's a real honor to be able to give. I gave 25 math lectures this year on the SAT. And, it starts with linear equations, quadratics, systems, the geometry. Let's say we have 1 week we do Pythagorean theorem. I do a presentation on Pythagorean theorem. One SOHCAHTOA, or charts and graphs, or circle math, which is being included more because that type of math and graph theory is related to tech fields. So they're very gracious to me, Lillian Scheck and Genevieve and Ms. Stern, Superintendent Stern, and the others. They're a very nice, supportive team. My father was in the military. Fort Hamilton is a ROTC school. It's one of the few. So there's junior ROTC there, and there's also a diverse community, just like Chang Learning, of Asians, Islamic students. So they even had a Spanish translator and Arabic translator for my lectures for several weeks. They also have a specialist from our competition tutoring houses. I mean, there are other ones that you can go to. And I've been loyal to this tutoring house for 9 years so far. But they have their math specialist present on the SAT as well, things like that. So tonight I have to stay up late and do 4 more lessons to finish the 7th grade course on the SHSAT. In New York City, there are 9 specialized high schools. In case you didn't know this, it's controversial in this school, like should we get rid of them because of the racial gap in achievement? Are they only serving white and Asian populations? Is it unfair? But what makes America great is its diversity, right? We're an immigrant nation. I grew up in a diverse neighborhood, and I'm an interracial person. So the thing is that it's not like I've been through this and didn't stand up for racism in college. The point was that the point here is that I'm honored to serve a diverse community. Over 12 languages are spoken here at this tutoring house. But the U.S. honestly is, if you look at PISA and look at the other metrics that are international tests, the U.S. is in the middle, right? They're below even some African countries. I mean, they're below in terms of the math achievement in science. The PISA is the math metric. So the top schools like Hong Kong, China, Korea, Japan, France, Germany, they're higher than the United States. And even Russia has fallen. Russia's maybe in a little bit, is in the mid group now, like the United States. But you can see that the dynamic is changing. The doctoral candidates over the past 30 years that are international, from China, from India, they took their doctoral degrees in mathematics and computer science. They went back to China and India, and they set up tech cities. Why didn't you think that was going to happen? Michio Kaku said this himself from CCNY. The Title I visa, why do you think they have these 10 doctorates? Then they move to Guangzhou, or they move to a city or a company, so they can set up a college to do the same. We don't need Silicon Valley in the United States anymore. China has these cities. So in terms of the schools like New York, why not light up like 20 or 50 more schools with the same curriculum as Bronx Science or Stuyvesant? Have them share their curriculum maps, so that we can get back to that 15% in the global market. It used to be the United States was like 15% of our science workers and tech workers. So that market share is shrinking and continues to do so. And we still are the greatest democracy in the world. But if you look at even the financial dynamic here, Singles Day is 136 billion, and Black Friday and Cyber Monday collectively, that's 16, 18 billion. So you have almost a tenfold. That one day is 10 times the sales of the United States. So there's a very different dynamic. China's going to pick their allies. India will pick their allies who they want to work with. Maybe they'll work with Mr. Gates in India, for example, and Microsoft will be fine with a certain market share. But they have their own tech cities. So the U.S. needs to step up and make sure that they have enough schools that are producing, again, I only have a master's degree, but are producing doctorates that are evolving and pushing the envelope, just like Moore's exponential law says, as computers still evolve. I'm in charge of something rather elementary, setting up 2 online classes, coding them on the computer for a tutoring house. It's something that you could learn as a first or second year, bachelor's in computer science. Like I can't even go and code and be fluent in a computer science language like C or R or Python or I mean the only languages that I did when I was a kid, like basic COBOL, and as you're growing up, you can apply some of that knowledge. But so I've been thinking about that, taking some of the money that I've saved and maybe getting a degree in computer science online in my spare time. But again, my mornings have been these Courier things, as you can see in my videos. And that has been good, these little Courier tours, so it's good for my mental health, it's away from math work. And then my afternoons and evenings are mathematics. So I have been neglecting that in my videos, so you will see coming up more videos for higher level mathematics, like SAT class, but also AP classes, AP statistics, AP calculus, because that I think is going to be the kind of work that I would like to do as the math specialist more as I continue to evolve these classes. You'll also see some support videos for those classes, not only the Texas Instruments calculator, but the more difficult lessons, the challenge lessons for grade 7 to 12. I do get some work in the hard sciences, physics, chemistry, very little earth science as well, and AP statistics, like I said. And the SAT is an optional exam, but I ask any parent, you want to include that in your college portfolio. It is noted, but the weight of it is just one element as you go from high school into college. I think, honestly, returning to Bronx Science each year for Project Accepted, where I'm the pretend interviewer and I interview 5 seniors with this like study packet, and I do the 5 college interviews on Saturday or Sunday up at Bronx Science. It seems that AP courses are very important. That's actually one of the questions on the list. There's extracurriculars. There's what do you do for your family? Do you speak other languages? What job experience you have? Have you interned? What do you do with your summers? We ask a lot of different core questions. What would you like to be doing in 10 years? Et cetera, et cetera. And I remember one year at Bronx Science, for example, every student said they wanted to be computer scientists. And it was like, hey, we have a make your own video game here at Bronx Science. We have a few other courses. I've already taken 10 AP classes. It's very different than when I went there. They say, yeah, you can start taking AP classes in 9th grade, 10th grade. So you have these incredible overachieving students. And it used to be called the Westinghouse Talent Search. So they're doing the science projects also that are used and that universities are interested in. Students that are really doing projects or interning or collaborative projects with either professors or on their own, standing on the shoulders of giants, so to speak, and doing those next level things for curing cancer, for cleaning up the waters, the environment. There are a lot of students there. And the other pressing needs that we have for the next generations to come. But certainly it's been COVID and the dynamic has changed. It's already May. We just had our New York State test week for English, language arts. So I had a few more students, and then mathematics. So those just ended. So next in June, we have the Regents exams. I was a Regent scholar. So you get an 85 or more in Regents in New York City on the Regents tests collectively, you automatically earn college scholarship money. So I had a small scholarship that I think I never cashed in, my dad said, because I got a full scholarship in math to the University of Vermont. It was like $20,000 scholarship when I was that was the one I picked. I got into a few other colleges, but that one worked out best for our family because we were lower or middle income. Even though my parents both worked, we were still middle income here in the United States. Let's see. So yeah, in terms of content, I'll also be doing more cooking videos, cooking for myself, and also how to eat. Cheap Eats again in New York City is rather popular on this channel. Also, probably some bike repairs since I've been working on my bike more. Unfortunately, my auntie who passed away, who was an educator and professional musician with the Honolulu Symphony, Auntie Carol Miyamoto, she passed away. She left us a small estate, and I was able to get my teeth, my dental implant, so I had surgery. And thanks to my sister again and her daughter, I stayed there for a month, recovering from all my broken teeth were taken out. And I really needed it because I was getting sick in class as a teacher. I was almost passing out at the board sometimes because I had bacteria problems and bloody teeth. And it was affecting my health. I was gaining weight. And so getting the surgery done, with all the teeth ripped out, all the broken teeth gone, and then these are real, but these broken ones were also removed. So I should get the new ones there soon within a couple of months. So it's really cured my headaches, which was from actually being the victim of violence in the neighborhood. They were broken from being mugged, but also being on the street as a street performer. Just again, I didn't get rich, but I was a successful street performer in terms of I was able to survive in the city for 20 years, mostly street performing with a few private gigs that or working with street performer programs where you have to pass an audition, sign the hold harmless, and develop your art that way and work with other artists. For example, at the South Street Seaport, I was given an award there for my work and also for organizing after 9/11. Then they shut the program down because then they started to go with the private, like for Pier 17. That's all done privately now with Seaport Management without the street performers, if you say anymore. So that was a bit of a backlash. I fought with the ACLU and I fought with local 802 Joe Eisman to save the street performer program. And then 2 years later, I was kicked out. Everyone was kicked out. So that was harsh. But there's a lot of anxiety post 9/11. I was the juggler for the Scylla Run for the firemen. The firemen's wives asked me to volunteer, so I did that. I used to get Christmas cards every year from them. I had still worked down at the Catholic Church as a school aide before I became a math teacher. So maybe I'll post videos more about that later. But New York City is still going. The weather's been beautiful lately. I'm still working towards the 1,000 goal and then getting the hours up. So what else? What other content? Let's see. It's been juggling clips from highlights. I'm going to do more math videos. That's the direction I'm going to be going in. More Cheap Eats, more math content. The Fort Hamilton videos, I'll start to post those. The lecture series, higher level math. What else is popular on my channel? Yeah, cheap eating, vendor foods, but also restaurants. Maybe some restaurant reviews. Maybe some Amazon reviews. Maybe see if I can monetize that first, like doing reviews, doing product reviews for Amazon. I've been doing a lot of Amazon buying with the money that was left by my aunt who passed away. By the way, she was a teacher at Punahou, which is where President Obama went. So we're setting up a scholarship with her money, fund, my brother and sister and I, so that we can sponsor one student, give them a harp scholarship because she was a professional harpist. So I think that's a great way to, in perpetuity, have honor our beloved aunt who passed away. She's a very, very sweet, hardworking woman in Hawaii. So there'll be a harp scholarship and I'd like to know who it goes to. Maybe we can go and see a concert, fly out to Hawaii again, to where Grandma and Grandpa used to live with Auntie Carol, and meet some students that we're giving scholarships to. You know what I mean? The other thing is that I've been posting about the Columbia '68 protest because I didn't know much about it growing up and when I was protesting racism. So I did graduate from Columbia Teachers College. I'm trying to get my identification back from some very, very rude uh, officers that are on campus that have no idea that I was a protester, that took away my ID on Black Lives Matter protest day. I might have to post some videos about that, but I'm doing that in house. I'm trying to finalize the letters that I'm going to send back to my alma mater because I graduated from there. Other than that, I'm enjoying my morning workouts. I'm thankful for this place. Thanks again to my sister and brother for setting me up here. I'm much happier than my other place that I had in Brooklyn. And it's just me. I'm still not married. Haven't met a lady to, if I'm lucky, just keep working. Maybe meet someone. I have not. I have no family, no children. I don't. I'm still renting, still working month to month. So, again, thank you for your attention to my channel. Thank you for your support and most of your feedback. The number one video is still that 18 video, Just Say No to Drugs. And believe it or not, at my age, like I grew up now that drugs are being legalized in all these different states and stuff. I've never been drunk or high. I say that with honesty. I could put my hand on the Bible. You could have me do a lie detector test. It's just I was always the smallest kid in class. I was a little runt. I never had time for drugs. I was having an asthma inhaler, medicine, whatever medicines the God gave me, erythromycin in the winter. Can barely breathe. So smoking just made no sense to me. Like taking drugs, altering all mind altering experiences. I'm sorry. It just was something that I didn't understand. So I've never missed out on a lot of partying apparently that I don't understand. And I'm not knocking it. I just don't. I was posting that because I was getting upset with, like, I'd meet a woman on the street, this Korean woman who's like dealing drugs out of the car as I'm dealing. I used to bring her oranges in the morning. She's like, yeah, my brother's a rap artist. We're trying to get a rap contract, but they're basically just dealing drugs in their Arizona, like out on the street. Like I used to buy her drinks and bring her drop oranges on their car. And I was just thinking about like how it damages not just women, but like communities and breaks families apart. And you get in the arts, you get that for a lot of artists, they find inspiration or they believe that they believe that it's a benefit for their disciplines. I've never felt that way as a juggler. I've never been into the flow scene, the psychedelic scene at all. So I just and that is simply because of my own health issues and just growing up and not getting it. I'm sorry to say that I've just seen too many what I believe are people taking advantage of each other among that culture. So uh, it's something that just it just makes you like bow your head for a moment and just hope for the best. Um, yeah. So what else can I say? I'm not. I don't have my job as a teacher sage in Catholic school anymore. I light a candle for my mother or auntie once in a while. I'm going to send my resume around again, look for more work for tutoring houses, but I'm getting decent work here at this tutoring house. It is a Chinese tutoring house, so a lot of the hours went down, which is why, like I said, I went back to Courier work. But I'm continuing to stay loyal to this tutoring house. I mentioned the ground floor investing. I'm doing other investing, saving my money and trying to make my money grow. I might do a few more videos on that. But I think there's a lot of good free content. I'd like to know more about the 5 Greeks, like delta and watching your gamma if you're doing options trading and vega and. I remember when I was at Columbia Business School, there was a PhD from China who had a single equation because that was the goal. Have a single equation. He's like, you press a button, you make 40% a year. And everyone was scrambling writing the equation down, and I didn't. I just stared at the screen. He had like gamma, and he had a percentage price oscillator. He had another oscillator. So he was trapping the movement, these sort of Markov chain, these longitudinal movements, but also the vertical movements based on the metrics that he already knew. He was a doctoral candidate. And stupid me, I didn't write down the algorithm, because then that would be an AI bot that I could have on my side as I learn more about the Greeks and learn more about. But I remember he used the gamma function. He used a percentage price oscillator, which he made up himself, based on, I think it was either he was following the exponential moving average, maybe 20 or 50 days. But he had a few others. He had 6 different, and there were just 6 different weights. But it was a single equation. And so then you track, you could back test it, but you track a stock using those 6 variables. And then the computer tells you if it's a buy day or a sell moment, buy or sell moment. And so it was an amazing single equation. So if I haven't been using, they even, because of Moore's law, you can get these trading apps now. I'd like to look more into that. And maybe I'll look at a review of which are the good AI trading apps, which can help you decide market momentum and long-term strategies. And it seems like the U.S., because of global problems, I can't get into this too much. I need to write these ideas down. But these sector rotation sort of tricks and going against these, because if a huge deal happens between China and Russia, or China and India, or India and Germany, and the United States is not part of those deals anymore because of defaults or because of other political reasons, the U.S. has been playing this sort of sector rotation game as they try to, and our democracy, we have a June 1st deadline. Hopefully the government won't shut down. So, all right, but I won't get too much into politics. I don't like having content that's really political often, because I feel like I'm no expert at it, and I have stood up for the cause that I stood up for and honestly believe in as a person. And at least my side, the people that I stood with, we were successful. And I know that from the protesting that I did, there are soldiers, doctors, common workers, construction workers, farmers, homeowners who have received minority scholarships because of our protesting. And I mean like dozens of these disciplines. So it makes me spiritually happy that our protests in Vermont was successful. So I might post a video or two about that, reflecting on I was part of a racism protest, and legal fees were paid for by a concert by Richie Havens, for example, who came up and did a charity concert for our lawyers when we were arrested. I was very young. I'm not I'm no revolutionary. I'm no ultra leftist. It's a good cause growing up in the projects in New York City. You're just like, no, of course we should all be given more scholarships like I have. So it's been an unusual journey. So we'll see. So I did complete my master's degree in 2012, and I'm thankful to be working. I'm going to end this stream now because I'm rambling and repeating myself now. I have a few juggling goals that I'd like to get to. I'm part of the Numbers League contest, so even at my age, I'm like number 27 in the world from this with this competitive numbers juggling thing. And so I can still do 7 with some consistency and qualify 8 during practice. But you have to be very careful with carpal tunnel as you get older. And when you're in your 20s, I was a college dropout and I was juggling all day and performing just to pay bills. And again, I didn't get rich, but I could juggle 10, 16 hours a day. I wasn't sore the next day. I could just, the energy was flowing, But then as you get older, I find if I work out juggling 2-3 hours a day, if I have a juggling workout for 2-3 hours, I feel it for the next 48, 72 hours, honestly. And if I'm pushing numbers like 8 and 9, my hands are starting to cramp. Like I need to find if there's if I should get manicures, or if they use hot packs, cold packs, get my wrist stronger. And also I was trying to do handstands again. I just don't have the strength in my wrists. I was going to sprain my wrist when I was trying to do handstands. And I have been losing weight again. I'll trim down if I start to get some base miles in, go for walks or light jogs, start jogging again for a few miles. Because, I ran 5 miles. I was doing 30 miles a week, 30, 35 miles a week, and I was ripped. So I might start feeling healthier with my teeth, the blood style, not bleeding anymore. So hopefully when these come in, I might do a few jogging streams. I have some old GoPros, but again, like I said, I'm not a rich man. Those were like Christmas gifts, birthday gifts from my brother, my younger brother. And I do like some GoPro streams, like put it on a hat or like those chest straps and start jogging again or in the parks or around the city. But we'll see. Yeah, so the content will be whatever my top videos are here in New York on my channel, but again, evolving more towards the math again. So I've been doing so many Courier ones. I've been farming just some juggling practice videos, just in these shorts. I have 33 shorts that are over 1,000 views each, and that's given me a few hundred more subscribers, so up to 452. So again, thanks to YouTube. I'm gonna keep going here, and hopefully I can make it to some monetization goals. And again, thanks to my family and supportive family and friends, and thanks to you on YouTube for your generous comments. And that's it. That's just little me doing living my life here in New York City and Brooklyn. And I have to go write these math lessons now. I'm going to put some tea on. Have a good night. And again, thank you for your kindness and support. Safe travels. Bye. Thank you.